Okay, this is end of day 2 at the Dubai FinTech Summit. We're at the Emirates NBD podcast studio here to talk about empowering the future wave of Emirati entrepreneurs. With me are my esteemed guests. Ladies first. Maryam, will you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. So I'm Maryam AlMansoori, the founder and general manager of Rebound, and we're all about monetizing recyclables and circularity.
Thank you and welcome. Ahmed?
Hi, this is Ahmed Al-Ali. I'm the co-founder of Deep Opinion.
Thank you, Ahmed. Welcome. And Fuad?
I am Fuad Alawadhi with Emirates NBD Innovation Manager, helping Emirati entrepreneurs and leading the bank incubator program.
Fantastic. All right, let's get this party started. Maybe we can start with our cohort 1 of National Digital Talent Incubator, the startup incubator that Fuad is now leading for Emirates NBD. What was your journey to NDTI? And tell us maybe a little bit about Deep Opinion and why you launched it.
Absolutely. So let me start by talking about Deep Opinion.
Yes.
Deep Opinion is an AI company. We focus on providing intelligent automation for companies and helping them to automate their process. As you can imagine, companies interact with the world, whether they're partners, suppliers, or customers, through unstructured data in the form of emails and documents. And we typically have cubicle farms within companies just trying to process the incoming and outflowing data. And we basically, with the help of AI, we help make that smoother. In terms of the program, it's really a fascinating program that we went through with cohort 1. It's interesting that the bank really looks to partner with tech companies, with fintech companies, with the AI companies to basically prepare themselves to go to the next journey in their innovation with their services.
Yeah, and you were just telling me before we started this podcast, right? The first day of the cohort, when we started to launch, Fuad was there as well, and how difficult it was, or how you challenged us, to be different. So hopefully we've delivered on that promise, and maybe we can move to Maryam on cohort 2. Tell us a little bit about Rebound, and why you founded it, and then sort of how you joined NDTI.
Sure. So, growing up, elephants were my favorite animal, and so I taught myself about habitat degradation and environmental consequences when it comes to pollution. Little over the years did I come to learn that the waste we throw away is actually worth many, many dollars and many, many dirhams. Just a ton of your plastic bottles today gets sold between 600 to 800 dirhams. And so to prove that recycling works and that we shouldn't be polluting our landfills and oceans, Rebound was set up to create a marketplace, so link between buyers and sellers in a quality assured and regulatory compliant manner. But then also B, when we were experiencing the trades, we figured out many companies and multinationals were approaching us, asking us for how can they become more sustainable or more circular. And that's where we set up Rebound Solutions, which is an advisory arm on projects and partnerships and studies. From a global perspective, joining the program is a privilege. It was very, very heartwarming and exciting to see a message and then an email and then having the meeting with the both of you up until starting. Very tailored and focused to what a founder needs, but not just founder, let alone an Emirati founder. I think this is something that sets Emirates NBD apart, giving back to the community, but also empowering the local citizens, given that we are a minority in the country, let alone young Emiratis who are starting businesses in different fields, whether it's Deep Opinion or a recycling exchange. So very privileged and glad.
Amazing. We're very privileged and humbled to have you as part of the program, both cohort 1 and cohort 2. Well, maybe let's talk a little bit about your experience, because you saw, right, the birth of the program, so to speak. You joined just when we launched cohort 1, and now you're managing and creating the content for cohort 2. What has been your experience from that perspective, and what have you learned?
Yeah, Sean, that's a really nice question. When we started, we were lost. And we wanted to actually copy-paste the Y Combinator. So we wanted to be largest bank in the Middle East that running the incubator program, helping Emirati entrepreneurs make them successful in the fintech ecosystem. Just if I want to go back in the beginning, so when I mentioned where I think we are lost, because I remember we invited all the startups and then we represented the NDTI program, and then they were like surprised. No, we don't want to be part of this NDTI because it's offering kind of the same thing as all the incubators doing. But Sean and I, we sat together, we called them and said like, listen, we're going to listen to you, and then we're going to create the program based on your needs, based on the specific needs of your startup. Then, alhamdulillah, we went through the journey, and I believe they were happy with what we were doing. And we connected them to different stakeholders, senior stakeholders within the bank. We have our partner, DIFC, Bill, Microsoft, helping us, to continue with this program. And we have such an amazing cohort too. And I'm really proud of you guys. And yes, that's it, Sean, from my side.
Very good, very good. No, and it's important to mention that ENBD is not doing this by itself. There's a whole ecosystem of partners, DIFC, Microsoft, Dell Tech, and Visa. And I think we've all gone on a learning journey. So Maryam, you're going to hopefully reap the benefits of that in the cohort too, that Ahmed sort of helped shape as well. But yeah, so these partners give immersion days and also tailor their content to each startup. Maybe if we talk a little bit about the Emirati startup ecosystem, you started touching upon it. What are the big challenges and opportunities that you see in particular as Emirati founders to inspire the next generation and other people to start their own businesses?
The challenges, I think, in any community of founders is mainly to stick to a business idea or plan. Many founders or companies that started trying to do it all just for the sake of securing clients or getting businesses ended up failing much faster. When I first started Rebound, one of the very few books I wanted to complete within 2 months was how to startups fail. And it was very important to learn how can companies grow to be successful, but also not grow too fast that they fall even faster. Challenges within the Emirati ecosystem, I don't think are much, mainly because we're very blessed to have the leadership that we do, whether it's from a, finances level or even from a corporate side, whether they're the ministers or the CEOs of businesses and companies. Very open-minded, very supportive and empowering. And we just need to, build up on that momentum and make sure that we carry the legacy of our founding father, which is uniting for better, collaborating, and being neutral in everything that we do, which is actually what I focus on in Rebound, is that as a marketplace, we are neutral. So we don't want to cheat any type of quality or processes in onboarding members. And yeah, so much to learn in general from this country.
I love that. Those are very beautiful messages. And I think the program strives to live to those values as well. Ahmed, what about you? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Fellow Emirati founders.
Absolutely. So even if we look at the UAE as a country, you can easily think of it as a unicorn on nations level. We've really took that journey and pivoted a few times. This country started, making its economy based on fishery, pearl hunting, then moved a little bit to being blessed by oil, having that growth in GDP. Then from there, we invested in tourism. And then now we really are at a great place and are continuously reinventing ourselves to be, the hub of technology here. If, for the Eastern Hemisphere, the best place to be is the UAE, because that's really the gate to all of that. And from there, this gives you great opportunity to be, we're blessed to have such an opportunity in front of us. Not just that, the leadership of the country understand the opportunity that's ahead of us and are helping us, whether it's by, support, open dialogue with policymakers, even having technology representation at the highest levels. We have a minister of AI when everyone thought it didn't make sense. And now everyone's saying, we need to do the same. So, from that perspective, we have really the foundation to grow our companies. But even, for example, for B2B companies, where we try and work with enterprise, almost all leaders here in the country have an open door policy where they will have an open dialogue. They'll tell you, this is what we do, those are our goals, and those are the pain points that's sitting between us and our goals. How can we work together? And then us as founders, our job is to innovate and bring those technologies, solutions, new cutting-edge ideas that will bridge the gap. And together, we basically form the economy that's heading in the direction we're looking.
Absolutely. I love that image of the UAE as a startup unicorn in and of itself as a country. And I've only been 8 months here, and actually that spirit really sort of resonates with me, I have to say. It feels like everything is possible if you put your mind to it, which is great. Fuad, we're also looking at helping UAE startups expand, right, regionally, internationally. Maybe you could speak to us a little bit about what we did in the last cohort, sort of in line with the NBD's strategy, and what we're doing this cohort.
Yeah, of course. This really nice question, Sean, that you're asking. So last year, we tried to take the startups to KSA. We realized that the KSA is a growing market, and there are different opportunities that we need to take the startups, getting them exposed to the market, show the different ecosystems and what are the opportunities out there that they can just leverage to their businesses. And alhamdulillah, we really got a really nice feedback from the Emirates team KSA, and as well as our founders. They really liked the sessions. And this year, we are planning to take the startups to Turkey and show them the Turkish ecosystem. Because if you see today in Middle East and Europe, Turkey positioned in the middle, and it's going to be a really, as a strategic location, it's going to be a really nice place for the startups to expand their businesses. So hopefully we can, add some value to the startups journey by, our commitment to the international expansion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's in line with the NBD strategy, and I would say also the UAE's, right? Because, the UAE is a small market, right? It's about 10 million population, but the Middle East is a vibrant, fast-growing market. So big opportunities in Saudi Arabia, big opportunities in Turkey. Also, we're right next to Asia. India is doing very well. So I think it's also about, not only looking, how can we establish companies here in the UAE, but let's be even more ambitious, right? Talking about AI and the G42 investments. How could we become, global leaders in this space? And so I think that's what we're also trying to do with the program. Maybe both of you, I believe, have your startups work on an international basis, right? Maybe talk a little bit about your ambitions sort of beyond the UAE and where else you'd like to grow. Where do you see the opportunities?
So in terms of Rebound, our focus markets are mainly on the eastern side of the world. Whether you're looking at Southeast Asia, India, MENA, regions, mainly because that's where a lot of the population, a majority of the population is there. And so with more population growth, more use of materials, and therefore more recyclables or waste that gets generated. Now, while we do focus on expanding on that side and empowering also governments through some of our digital solutions to deliver that, we also want to maintain and grow the demand side of the recyclates market in the West, because Europe and the US do have a lot of promising technologies and manufacturing sites which use recyclates. And so it's a balance of both, but I do believe that countries such as, Brazil, Malaysia, India, Vietnam, KSA are very critical in this environment, and for sure Turkey, which is what I mentioned at a few minutes outside.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Maryam. Ahmed, what about you?
Absolutely. We've been blessed to be global from day one. The way we founded Deep Opinion is actually was a great opportunity. Opportunities in life make sense only in hindsight. And I had the opportunity to do my PhD in the UK at the University of Cambridge, and there I met my co-founders who are German and Austrian, and we decided to have the headquarters in Austria. So a big hi to my co-founders, Stefan and Steve, amazing people. And then we saw the opportunities from day one. Do we really go international? That comes with challenges. We still decided to do it. We have part of the team in the DACH region, as well as myself here in Dubai. So we thought, the UAE gives us great opportunity. It's a really rapidly growing market. There is a strong technology pull, open dialogue with decision makers, and really agile policies and regulations that try to leverage technology rather than regulate it and put a box it up. So we thought, okay, let's basically, with our move to UAE, we are building our global expansion playbook to figure out how that can be done, how can we deploy to other markets, and so on. And we've been blessed that we managed to make it happen. We have customers in the UAE. We have customers in Europe as well, between Austria, Germany, and 2 other countries. And based on that, we are looking on, all right, how do we expand from that further? And those will be our next steps. The UAE is a great location for the Eastern Hemisphere, as I've said. People come here, we can see it in our events, in our tourism, and in everything we do here. We see a big part of the decision makers coming here to be inspired. And by that, we are looking, so the UAE is really known for export. We used to export pearls, we used to export oil, and I really aspire to be part of the next generation that will export technology to the rest of the world.
It's very inspiring. I love it. And we're actually at Dubai FinTech Summit with, CEO of NASDAQ, head of innovation, global head of innovation, digital partnerships at Visa, CEO of Julius Baer. So we really had a who's who of sort of FinTech, and the whole ecosystem has come to Dubai, not just because of the weather, but because of these interactions, right? So if you had to perhaps put us on a little bit on the grill, grill us a little bit, what would you tell companies in the UAE sort of, to support the Emirati ecosystem? If you had to give them 1 or 2 things to do or actions to take, what would those be?
Personally, that was something that I would call out to companies in general. Companies that are large enough can set aside a specific amount of budget to support local businesses, whether they are homegrown and established or they're startups with less than 5 or less than 10 years of experience. We believe in what we can do, and we're not a lot of startups, whether it was in the cohorts that you're hosting or hosted, or that you'd host in the future, might be doing something similar, but in a very different way. And if we don't get the chance to prove it with companies that sit within our own country's boundaries, why would we expect anything more from those abroad? It's like, pulling up and saying, my family didn't believe in me, so can you adopt me? Doesn't make sense. And I think even with the sustainability space, I say this from experience, it's very nice when companies start having their sustainability strategies and ambitions, etc. But then many times we were put in awkward situations where companies would say, oh, but we have an MOU with you, so we won't really, work with you on a payment basis. Can you do this for free? It's like, yeah, but we're a private company. We have salaries to pay. So that's something that, but I believe with the momentum of COP28 and then His Highness Sheikh Mohammed also reinforcing 2024 as a year of sustainability, a lot of companies started saying, okay, this was not just a trend for 2023. And looking at least how Emirates MBD is addressing it, and with the CSO leading a lot of critical topics and initiatives, it's promising, and I hope that can be, implemented across all other sectors.
Absolutely. A CSO, which we're meeting on Friday.
Yes.
So looking forward to that. Ahmed, what would you tell companies?
Absolutely. I can start by an interesting statistic that I've came across recently. Around 60% of sales conversations actually do not end in a yes, do not end in a no. They end up in having no decision. And this is basically because companies are not really capable, in some cases, evaluating emerging technology and making the right decision whether this will help them in alleviating their pain points or not. So my recommendation to those companies in a growing economies, there's always budget and we see them spending. And the most reliable thing is giving it to a large tech company that will basically figure out what they can do with it and do something strategic. As the old saying goes, no one gets fired for buying IBM. Same thing in a different flavor in the modern day. So what I would say is I would advise decision makers to incorporate two things within their companies. Around 6 different parts of the business understand their priorities really well that will help them to achieve their goals, and then have a clear and smooth process in place that facilitates the collaboration with startups. Startups are there. They around 6 to collaborate with companies. However, sometimes the complexity of the process stands between that, and then we end up in having no decision and no win-win situation. Around 6.
Just to add on to that, every company was small at a certain stage. Every big company and bank and corporation we see today started with 1 or 2 people. And sometimes we want people that are in, or let's say organizations that are large in size or multinational, to recall the fact that one day someone believed in their organization, and that's why today they have a job and can secure their families, etc. And we're looking for the same. We're not just the next generation in terms of population, but we're also the next generation what we deliver. We understand that technology and screens are not for everyone. So the solution that we might build in the UAE will be different than the solution we might build in another country, let alone the features. So we've been privileged to grow up and be raised in a country that is multinational in terms of the diverse people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. And so we deserve the trust, at least initially, until we prove someone wrong, but hopefully that doesn't take place.
Okay. So just to bring this conversation to a wrap, this is the Dubai FinTech Summit, day 2. Fuad, you've been out there talking to many people and manning the stand heroically at Emirates and BD. What is one highlight or one memory that you will take with you from Dubai FinTech Summit?
It's been crazy out there. I saw so many companies came to me asking about me. What are you offering as a bank? You are one of the largest bank in the Middle East and in the region. So connecting different people, different companies to the right senior stakeholders and to the right organization within our bank, it's been an amazing experience for me. So I found that's connecting different people that can be like a huge problem solver in this,
Very good.
20 years.
Very good. Okay, cool. And our 2 inspirational founders, I know you've been here for different amounts of time, but if you had to pick one moment or memory from Dubai FinTech Summit that you'll take with you, apart from this wonderful conversation and podcast, what would that be?
I think down in the innovation arena too, it was very inspiring to see many businesses tackle payments, ease of payments, and verifying customers, but in diverse matters. Like they might be solving something similar, but when I interacted with some of them, their solutions were completely different. Let alone they came from completely different backgrounds and countries, and so it was very pleasing just walking across that hall and realizing that a lot of international talent is here in Dubai FinTech, showcasing their solutions and their businesses to hopefully larger corporates.
Yeah, I resonate with that. There's a lot of energy in that hall as well. Absolutely. Ahmed, what about you? What's a moment or memory from Dubai FinTech Summit this year that you'll take with you?
It's a great event. I attended for the first time this year, and I'm really inspired by the collaboration. Actually, by working here, found few of our customers already exhibiting here, which feels really great. And, the events, the talks that are there the most interesting part that I found in the event is some of those panel discussions by decision makers that help in understanding really some of the pain points, the needs, the opportunities, the visions across different companies, which for us as startups, tech companies, we can leverage to basically align our technologies to solve problems and add more value to our customers.
Awesome. On that note, I'm going to thank you for joining me in this conversation, all of you, and looking forward to seeing you next year, Dubai FinTech Summit, with global businesses and deals with Emirates NBT.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Emirates NBT.